All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Zen here from Zen Multiverse, and I hope you're having a phenomenal day. So, me and my son, we recently went to go see Black Adam that just dropped, and let me say that there's a lot I want to say about this movie. So, I'm going to do a spoiler review. So, let's get started. And just a little heads up, when I rate my movies, I'm not going to rate them out of 10. I'm going to do a three-tier scale from my Zen multiverse scale, and that goes in the form of not my cup of tea, enjoyable, and epic itself, right? So let's get started with the SFX. Now, the SFX, or the special effects overall, was just absolutely amazing. I felt like it blended in really well with the movie and also the scenery of what Kondak was, right? Kondak, the the earlier days and the present day version of it, right? When it came to the characters and how they interacted with the scenery itself and the special effects, I felt like it meshed in really well. It wasn't too much or too little. It was just right. There probably was only one scene um, where Black Adam, right, or 10th Adam was trying to save the boy from a bullet, where I did see a little bit of SFX, a little bit too much, right? Those of you who've seen this scene know what I'm talking about, right? But that only happened towards the end of the movie, and for the most part, everything else was pretty much fine for me, right? Now let's get into the characters themselves. Now the characters such as Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right, playing Black Adam was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was the character wasn't expressive, but that's how the character is itself. And overall, I would say he played this version of Black Adam to the T, right? Now, the rest of the characters, supporting cast characters, I wish we had more development on those characters themselves. There were some parts where I felt like I didn't make enough connection with the characters to actually care as much as I would have loved to. But it is what it is. That was the plight of the movie in a lot of different ways, right? For me personally. Now, in terms of the Society, I wish we had more time with these characters. But one thing that I do know is that there is the Justice Society files, which are comic books, to get to know some of these characters a little bit better. But they did mention a couple of origin stories, such as Cyclone, really quickly, but I was able to get a snapshot into the trials and tribulations that she may have went through to become the character that she is. Overall, I would say my favorite character throughout the whole movie was Hawkman, and that's just because he was the Boy Scout character, right? I always Cyclops is my favorite character from the X-Men. Superman is my favorite superhero from DC, and I felt like he was doing the right thing for the right reasons, but he still had a little bit of attitude. And I felt he was a pretty cool character and a great representation of Hawkman, um, which is a very underrated character. Other characters were pretty cool, right? Adam Smasher and also Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate was absolutely amazing, right? Pierce Brosnan, I think I said his name right, he was great all the way through the movie itself. Now, let's switch over into the music. The music for the movie, I'm used to the Hans Zimmer and things of that nature. We didn't get all of that, but it was still good. It didn't make me go into my car leaving and putting on the OST, right? The OST or the whole entire soundtrack for the movie, like how I would normally do for some movies, but it was still an enjoyable ride overall. Now, let's get into our next part. Next part goes into the storyline. Now, this is where it had deficits, but also highlights as well. And the reason why I'm saying deficits is because sometimes the movie didn't give me enough time. Me personally, my son loved it. Didn't give me enough time to personally invest into certain characters and certain certain shifts in characters came up pretty quickly. It was like, oh man, I don't really know this character, but I'm gonna start saving you because I see a resemblance in the character, which is okay, but also I don't know you the way I haven't formed a relationship with you. So what I'm doing right now is looking at the psychology of a character and then trying to form a relationship with the character that's already in the scene. And I'm wondering why was that character able to, I'm talking about Black Adam and just the family that he ended up saving, right? Is it because they were a representation of his past family? If that's the case, then okay. But I do think that there were times when the family were speaking to the Justice Society and the family was speaking to Black Adam, and I felt like the I would just say the flow of things were either too fast or it needed a little bit more, right? More, I don't know, more substance to it to form bonds and relationships and things of the nature. But again, this is my opinion overall. So now, what is my overall analysis for the movie itself, right? Is it as low as people are making it seem? Well, the storyline progression could have been a lot better, in my personal opinion. Do I understand the Rotten Tomatoes um, rating scale? I think it is quite low. I think it's really low in comparison to how I felt about the movie. But again, Rotten Tomatoes is Rotten Tomatoes. But I do know, even though we love to say that Rotten Tomatoes, we shouldn't look at Rotten Tomatoes, it does give us some kind of insight into how the movie is. But what are my feelings towards the movie? Is it not my cup of tea? Is it enjoyable or is it epic? For me, it is enjoyable, right? It isn't something that's not my cup of tea, right? Cheers. Um, it is my cup of tea. It is a movie that me and my son we went out to watch, and it was good. It was good. We enjoyed it. We ended the movie feeling like, oh snap, like what's gonna happen, right? Now there are some twists and turns, right, that made you feel like what, like, and I'm speaking more so to the origin of Black Adam itself. There were times where I'm like, oh wow, you know, this happened, right? The wizards or the sorcerers or whatever like that, they pick the wrong person basically. But you get an insight into a deeper story and why he becomes Black Adam, or why he becomes this supposed chosen one when he wasn't really chosen, but he was chosen by someone else. But I'll let you watch the movie so that you could have your own take on the movie itself. Now, there was a couple of other characters that I saw that were really good. A couple of characters that I saw from Peacemaker and other things of that nature, which were really good. Now, the end credit scene, right? This is ultimate spoiler, but I'm pretty sure that if you're watching this far into the video, that you've given some thought into leaving or staying, right? Now, at the end of the movie, Amanda Waller, she's in the movie, right? She ends up basically telling Black Adam that he needs to stay in Conduct. Do not leave the outskirts of Conduct, or else I will come get you. And then they're having their banter, and she's basically saying like, "I'll call in a favor." And then thereafter, we see Superman um, pop in, right? The Superman that we know and love from Man of Steel, and it is an amazing sight to see. Now, a lot of people, and here's my theories: a lot of people are looking forward to a versus movie. I feel like we're just now seeing Superman as an insight to the next Man of Steel movie, right? What I think eventually is going to happen is we might have them bicker and banter, but we won't have actually a versus movie. Why I do think, and this is from the feats that I've seen throughout all the DC movies right now, I still think Superman is on a higher playing field than Black Adam himself. But I do think we will see Black Adam come to the aid of Superman or team up with them, but they'll have a similar banter and versus kind of thing going on that we saw with Black Adam and also Hawkman, which I really loved, right? Even though Hawkman wasn't on the level as Black Adam, his his vigor and persistence to basically want to beat the hell out of Black Adam was pretty awesome, right? And my last little snippet before I end this video is jokes in the movie. There are a lot of, I watched the movie. I laughed in the movie theater with a couple of people who were in the surrounding area too at a couple of jokes. The jokes didn't seem forced, nor did it seem like there was too many jokes. I did see a couple of reviews where they said that there were too many jokes in the movie. I don't think so. And this is my personal opinion. Like there, if I hate to compare Marvel and DC, but when I saw like Thor, the latest Thor movie, that one had a lot of jokes in it that, and some even seemed pretty forced. But it is an enjoyable experience if you're looking for um, a Christopher Nolan type storyline. You're not gonna find that there, right? If you're just looking for a comic book movie, right? When I say a comic book movie, you're opening a comic book and you're going through the pages and you're just like, all right, cool, that was nice. I would love to see what happens next. Then you're gonna enjoy the experience, right? But overall, let me know what you think about the movie in the comment section below. This is Zen here from Zen Multiversity, and peace, love, and prosperity. If you're enjoying the content, you already know what to do. Drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Cheers, and I'll catch you all later for the next video. Later, team. Shazam!